Coming up on the Rockbridge Report. See the tough decision that faces the Rockbridge County School Board tonight as it grapples with a $2.2 million budget shortfall. Later, find out how the new healthcare bill could affect local uninsured, pharmacies, and doctors after President Obama signed it on Monday. And find out why weeknight parties like these will be shutting down earlier. All this and more on the Rockbridge Report.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Catherine Carlock. Tonight, the Rockbridge County School Board will meet to decide the fate of Rockbridge County schools. Rockbridge reporter Ann Vasulis talked to the school board and a local citizen task force to find out the latest options to balance the budget.
This will be the third year in a row. I think it'll be every year since I've been in this position that the budget will be less than it was before, and it's disheartening for everybody.
The Rockbridge County School Board will make its final decision on next year's budget. It has to choose between two options: to submit the budget with a $276,000 shortfall, hoping that the Board of Supervisors chooses to fund it, or to close Effinger Elementary.
You send a budget downtown with a request for the additional funding that you heard that we talked about the other night to keep the status quo, or are we going to have to produce a budget that we can balance?
The Board of Supervisors has already provided the school board with $608,000 to soften the $2.2 million cut from the state, so getting that additional funding may be difficult. A local citizen task force suggests that the money come equally from two sources, half from the Board of Supervisors and half from the school district's General Reserve Fund.
What do I hope they would do? I hope they would have the conviction to put in the budget without closing Effinger, and to have the supervisors step up and listen to what we believe is the will of the people.
If the school board decides to close Effinger, it would end up with about $250,000 in extra funds, which Superintendent Reynolds says will somehow have to be factored back into the budget. Either way, the latest count suggests 16 teaching, administrative, and facilities jobs will be cut, along with a computer technology program at the high school. The task force believes there just wasn't enough time to figure out how to handle the cuts, but will do what they can to keep Effinger open.
We didn't have any time to react intelligently, so all we're doing is knee-jerk reactions and trying to plug the hole.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Ann Vasulis.
The school board meeting will be held at 6 tonight at Rockbridge County High School. This afternoon, the Senate passed the House Reconciliation Bill on health care reform with 56 votes. Now the bill goes back to the House for minor changes. The complicated revision process of the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act President Obama signed leaves many Americans wondering what's actually in the measure. Rockbridge reporter Katie Geddes discovers how the Health Care Act could affect those in Rockbridge County.
Everyone will be affected by this legislation. This is such an enormous change. It does in fact rival the creation of Medicare in the 1960s. So everyone will be affected for good or ill.
On this vote, the yeas are 220, the nays are 211. The bill is passed.
While the major policies of the recent healthcare legislation won't go into full effect until 2014, there are some immediate changes for the American people. Starting this year, the bill will create insurance pools to provide coverage to the uninsured with medical problems, extend coverage to children on their parents' health plan until they are 26, prohibit insurance companies from denying coverage to children with previous health conditions, give tax credits to small businesses so they keep health insurance for their employees, narrow the Medicare prescription drug coverage gap, prohibit insurance companies from canceling policies except for fraud, cut projected Medicare payments to some healthcare providers, ban insurance companies from placing lifetime dollar limits on coverage, and set a 10% sales tax on indoor tanning. While there are lots of patient benefits, others say extending healthcare to 31 million Americans could cause problems.
There's a big concern about the shortage of primary care physicians, because if you give 30 million people access to health care right now, We are at a real crisis in the country in primary health care providers.
Local pharmacies could be hurt by the bill because of increased paperwork and decreased revenues.
So I imagine a lot of independents will go out of business, which means that you'll have to go to the chain stores, and which means that they have bigger volumes and more waiting and longer lines.
The Rockbridge Area Free Clinic already serves about 2,000 uninsured people in the area, but it estimates that there are more than 5,000 not covered in the county. With the recent economic downturn, Director Suzanne Sheridan says that the clinic saw a 38% increase in its number of patients from 2008 to 2009. Even with the federal requirement to have health insurance, Sheridan still feels that there will be a need for free health care in the county.
But some people think the changes in the healthcare bill are too drastic.
And as far as the free clinic goes, I don't know how we can exist as a free clinic if this goes through.
I can tell you that for patients, this is a great victory. The fact that 30 million patients will now have access to health care is a tremendous stride.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Katie Geddes.
Dr. Ellington is also on the board of directors for the American Academy of Family Physicians. He says that the AAFP has advocated for extended health care coverage for the last decade and is pleased with the bill. But not everyone is so excited about the health care overhaul. Virginia State Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli is one of 13 other attorneys general that is suing the federal government in an attempt to stop the legislation.
We believe clearly that the federal government does not have the constitutional authority to order every American to buy health insurance.
Cuccinelli filed suit in Richmond's federal courthouse just 5 minutes after Obama signed the bill. The Rockbridge Area Free Clinic is now offering mental health services. The clinic has provided free dental and medical care to local uninsured patients well before the new health care bill passed. The clinic now holds weekly group therapy sessions for patients who suffer from stress, depression, and other mental illnesses. Executive Director Suzanne Sheridan said low-income and uninsured patients and those working with chronic diseases are most likely to develop mental health issues.
There's a lot of economic factors they have to deal with, family issues, and there's not a lot of supports available.
The group therapy will cover stress management and other topics that the patients request. Be sure to stay tuned for the on-record portion of the Rockbridge Report after tonight's show. City Manager John Elistad talks about water budget woes and the selection of the new Lexington Police Chief. Later in the show, we have the latest on the trial concerning the expansion of the Barger Quarry. But first, find out why residents will have to be more careful about barking dogs and weeknight parties.
I wouldn't have been at this ceremony if I hadn't been at this ceremony first. Unfortunately, nearly 30% of U.S. high school students aren't making it to graduation. And every one of us, every parent, every friend, and neighbor, has the responsibility to provide the support and encouragement they need to make it through. Because we all need to see a lot more of these pictures.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. I really want to show you something.
1, 2, ready, go! L-O-V-E. It's a
would you play today? For great play ideas, visit www.smallst.
A new noise ordinance in Rockbridge County will be in effect within the next few weeks. This comes after a public hearing was held on Monday night to discuss possible changes to the ordinance code. Rockbridge reporter Caroline Helms explains why residents may be getting more peace and quiet during the week.
The new noise ordinance applies to anything from late-night parties, barking dogs, gunshots, and more. Monday night, the Board of Supervisors voted unanimously to pass proposed changes to the noise ordinance. The new noise ordinance has two basic changes. One, noise will now have to stop at 11 every night from Sunday to Thursday instead of at midnight. Two, not only stereo and TV noise, but crowds larger than 10 people will now be subject to fines. Neighbors were especially pleased with the second change, but don't think the size of the crowd should matter.
Many of us don't understand why a group of 10 or more is the target for enforcement, because noise from 1 or 2 or 100 can be equally annoying.
Noise has been a constant issue for county residents, especially with off-campus student houses. Neighbors credit a group called the Campus Community Coalition for the increased noise control. At the meeting, only 2 neighbors spoke about the noise problems, and they mainly had good things to say.
My first year here, we had quite a bit of noise going on with developing control. This year has been quite different.
The coalition gives neighbors student contacts at each off-campus house to promote an alternative to immediately turning to law enforcement. Although student representatives from the coalition were mainly pleased with the changes, they expressed some concerns.
And I think with something like this, our biggest fear that students are going to take it the wrong way as punishment for any behavior that there has been in the past.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Caroline Helms.
These changes come after the Virginia Supreme Court mandated that some updates be made to noise ordinances around the state. The judge has yet to reach a verdict in the land dispute over the Barger Quarry. The lawsuit is between Chuck Barger, a local quarry owner, and county residents who live next to the quarry. Barger wants to expand his quarry to within 100 feet of the residents' homes. Judge Bo Trumbo heard closing arguments for the trial on Monday, but defendant's attorney Jim Gwynn said the judge will take between 30 and 60 days to reach his decision. Gwynn represents the Rockbridge County Board of Supervisors, which was sued by Lexington residents after it granted a rezoning permit to Charles Barger in 2007. When we come back, find out what the first full weekend of spring will bring. We'll have your 5-day forecast. But first, this Buena Vista plant has been closed for months. Find out what will happen to the empty factory after the break.
Hey.
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
It's close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Ah, it's a great day, isn't it?
Yeah. Too bad your boat's gonna sink at 11:05.
Don't come closer. I have rabies. Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesaonc.org.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today.
Rockbridge County Police are looking for items stolen from a house on Collierstown Road. It happened about 2 weeks ago. 3 Washington Lee students came back from Charlottesville to find that someone had broken into their house. About $4,000 worth of electronics were missing. This is one of 10 burglaries to happen this year. Police say this is partly because residents don't lock their doors and the county is close to 2 major highways, which allows burglars to enter from out of town. Stanco is still the owner of the old Bontex plant in Buena Vista. This morning, Stanco attempted to sell the 12 acres where the plant was located in a public auction, but there were no other bidders. The fiberboard production plant was one of the industrial landmarks that put Buena Vista on the map. The plant closed 2 months ago after the local family that owned it sold it to Stanco, one of Bontex's main business partners. Stanco is owned by a Chinese-based distribution company. Enjoy the sunshine this weekend, but don't keep your rain boots far from reach. Scattered spring showers are in the forecast. The rain comes Friday morning, but tapers off throughout the day as the high reaches 53 degrees. Friday night stays clear with a low temperature of 32. This Saturday, the spring sun is out in full force, but with a mild high of 59 degrees. As Washington Lee students dress up for the 103rd Fancy Dress Ball, the low will hit 40 degrees. Sunday's high is 60 degrees. But expect to stay indoors for part of the day. More rain and a chance of thunderstorms is in the forecast. The low will be around 48. And wear your raincoats on Monday and Tuesday. It will rain both days. The Monday high will reach 59 and the low will dip to 43. Tuesday temperatures will hit 64 degrees and fall to 42 for the night. After the break, a local artist paints the sky in one of the world's most renowned art museums.
The hurricane has passed, but the recovery won't be complete until all the water has receded. If you're having trouble coping, Trained and Caring Help is waiting.
Hello there, it is your old pal Grover. Meet my new friends.
Madison, Isaac, Alexa, Romeo, Amanda.
They have last names too.
Vigo, Shane, Lopez, Rodriguez, Warner.
Everybody has a first and last name, even mommies and daddies. Do you know yours? Do you know your mommies and daddies? If you do not, go find out.
Know your whole name so grown-ups can help you in an emergency. Learn more at ready.gov/sesame.
I am a teenager.
I am online.
I enjoy sharing thoughts,
music, videos,
ideas, information.
I will not
be a victim to threats,
to stalking, to soliciting, to predators.
I will be responsible.
I will be careful.
I will be honest.
I will be smarter. I will get my parents involved.
I will protect myself.
I will be safe.
I am a teenager.
And I
will not
be bullied.
The Louvre in Paris houses some works of the world's greatest artists, and now the Lexington-born artist Cy Twombly can add his name to that prestigious list. Twombling's painting was revealed Tuesday. The ceiling stretches across the Louvre's salle de bronze room and features a blue sky spotted with the names of ancient Greek sculptors. Twombly is only the 3rd contemporary artist to install a permanent work of art in the museum. He currently splits his time between Lexington and Italy. Well, that's for you today. Don't forget to tune in for the on-record portion of the Rockbridge Report with City Manager John Elistad. Check us out online at rockbridgereport.wlu.edu or follow at Rockbridge News on Twitter for breaking news. I'm Catherine Carlock. Have a great evening.